So today we're looking at the DM30 cardioid microphone from Maono, a $50 budget USB microphone with RGB lights. How does it sound? Let's find out. Now, a couple of things before we start. First thing, I was sent this for free by Maono. However, this does not impact my review, and I will remain unbiased and impartial in my review of this microphone. Second, obviously, this entire review is recorded on this microphone, so this will give you the opportunity to listen to how it sounds like. And then the last thing, this actually comes on a desktop stand and not a boom arm like this. However, in my current setup, I do not have the possibility to have it on this desk stand, so I've mounted this on a boom arm instead. However, I'll talk in more details about this later on in the review. So let's start with the unboxing. The quality of the packaging is quite impressive for the price. The microphone picture is even glossy over here, which is quite impressive. I'm very impressed with the quality of the packaging. And here you see there is boom arm and microphone stand threading compatible with 3/8 inch and 5/8 inch thread sizes, which is nice and will come in handy as is the case right now. On the other side, there's a QR code to scan with Amazon, but also an authenticity QR code, which verifies the serial number and, well, that it's an authentic product. Now let's open the box. Very nice padding over here. And there you have it, the microphone on its stand and a box of accessories. Nice, sturdy metallic base. And there it is. It swivels to adjust the angle. And in the accessories box, you get the user manual and a USB-C cable. What's nice here that it also comes with a USB-A adapter attached, which is a nice touch for those computers with no USB-C ports. Now the manual is quite useful. It does show you the frequency response graph and also the cardioid pattern. But also when I was looking at the multifunction button, I noticed there's no marking for gain control, which was a bit weird because then you cannot know what gain level you've set the microphone at. Then I referred to the manual and I learned that there is kind of an indicator in the form of blinking lights. So you start off with 2 blinking lights at 0%, and then as you continue turning the knob to increase the gain, there's 1 blinking light once you reach 50% gain, and then as you continue turning and reach 100% gain, there are another 2 blinking lights. And I thought about making a mark myself with a pencil on the knob to know where approximately the gain level is. However, it appears that it makes about 2 or 2.5 full circles, so that is not possible. I'm not a big fan of this, although arguably it does give you more granular control over the steps of the gain level. But I'd rather the traditional, markings where you can just look at the knob and know approximately what gain level you are. However, this becomes less of an issue when you open the app, which is quite surprising at this price point, and we'll show you more the app in a second. Now, the knob is a multi-purpose knob or serves more than one purpose. You can push it to mute or unmute. Of course, you can turn it left and right for the gain control, but if you press and hold, it will switch from gain control to the audio monitoring level, and then you can increase or decrease the audio level while monitoring your output. Which brings us to the back. You get the USB-C port, of course, but also the audio jack for monitoring and a button to control the RGB lights. You can cycle through the different colors or have them rotate automatically. Now, this is a cardioid microphone, which means it's designed to pick up the noise from the front of the mic while trying to reject or minimize everything from the back. Let me give you a quick demo. So as I am talking over here, and now I am completely in the back of the microphone, and then I will continue moving back towards the center. And this is the sweet spot where it will pick up your voice most clearly. Remember to be facing the logo and the knob while talking for the best pickup pattern. Now let's switch over to the computer to show you what the app looks like and how the microphone sounds at different gain levels. So this is what the app looks like. As you can see the gain level over here. I currently have it at 75%. And also you can have the microphone monitoring level set over here. There's a visual representation, which is nice. So if I get closer over here, you see it's going to turn into the red, which means I'm peaking. And you can also mute the microphone by clicking on this over here. Now, before we get to the tones, there's also a section on the RGB lights, so you can turn them off or on. You can adjust the brightness, you can select which color you'd like, and also select the one that cycles through all the different colors. Now here you also have 4 different tones. I'm going to cycle through them so you can hear what they sound like. This is the deep tone. You also have the natural tone, and this is what the natural tone sounds like. You can also select bright, so this is what bright sounds like. And the 4th tone is legacy. This is what legacy sounds like. Now, this is here the standard setting. You can also go to advanced. It also shows you the mic gain and the headphone volume, but here you have a few other options, like 4 different EQs. So this one is the flat EQ, but you can also select a high-pass filter, and this is what the high-pass filter sounds like. You can also select a presence boost EQ, and this is what that sounds like. And the last EQ is a high-pass filter and a presence EQ. You also have a limiter, which you can select over here, and a compressor. So this is what it sounds like with both the limiter and the compressor both selected. Now, one more thing before I go back to the other setup with the microphone mounted on the boom mic, I do want to talk about this particular desk stand. So the microphone is actually quite small, quite compact, which means the desk stand is also quite compact, which means it's a bit short. I actually had to lower my chair to get to a comfortable distance from the microphone. So I would have rathered if the desk mount was a little bit taller so you can get to a more comfortable distance between your mouth and the microphone without having to lower your chair. If I'm at my normal sitting distance from the on the chair, this is how high I would be, and I'm about a foot away, so about 30 centimeters away from the microphone. So if the desk mount was a bit taller, that would have been better in my opinion. And a second point, and this is not particularly about this microphone, but in general about a microphone mounted on a desk stand on your desk, it's also going to capture any sounds or even vibrations coming from the desk. So if you're rubbing your fingers on the desk, you can hear that. But more importantly, if you simply place your arms on the desk, I'm tapping. It's barely audible at this point, the tapping that I'm doing, but the microphone is probably capturing all those vibrations. And this could be an issue if this is your setup. Also, if you're typing on a keyboard, you might also capture that sound, so something to keep in mind. Now let's go back to the other setup for my final thoughts on the microphone. Now, one more thing before I go to the conclusion. I did record a segment with various gain levels, adjusting both the gain level on the microphone itself, but also on the MacBook, and I played around with those to show you how it sounds at different gain levels. I also paused after each segment so you can hear the self noise of the microphone. Let's take a listen and then my final thoughts. So starting off with 50% gain on the MacBook and 50% on the Maono, I'm about 4 inches away, and this is the sound of silence. Now going up to 75%, so we are 75% on the Maono, still 50% on the MacBook, and this is now the sound of silence. And now all the way up to 100% on the Maono, still at 75% on the MacBook, and this is now the sound of silence. And now we set the gain on the MacBook to 75%, starting off with 50% on the Maono. This is the sound of silence. Going up to 75% on the Maono, this is now the sound of silence. And now going up all the way to 100%, I had to step a little bit back, so now I'm about 5-6 inches away from the microphone, and this is the sound of silence. And now for the final test, we are at 100% on the MacBook, 50% on the Maono. I'm about 5-6 inches, so about 12 centimeters from the microphone, and this is the sound of silence. And now I will raise the gain on the Maono to 75%, and I step back, so now I'm about a foot away from the microphone, or about 30 centimeters. The gain is 75% on the Maono, and this is the sound of silence. And now all the way up to 100% on the Maono, 100% on the Mac, and I'm again about a foot away, about 30 centimeters, and this is now the sound of silence. So my final thoughts. Value for money, I think this is tremendous. For $50 or even less at the time of writing this review, it's actually selling for $40 on Amazon. You are getting a lot of bang for your buck. Now, granted, there are a few things which I would have preferred if they were done differently. For starters, the knob, if it was a more traditional knob with that marking so you can know what gain level you're at, but that is a non-issue, especially that you can see exactly what gain level you are with the app. Also, the desk stand, I wish it was a bit taller so that you can be closer to the microphone, but the fact that you can mount it on a boom arm, well, that kind of solves that issue. However, just something to keep in mind if you do not want or intend to mount it on a boom arm, it might be a bit low and you need to adjust accordingly. But other than that, I think I absolutely love this microphone, and there's plenty to love. It has a nice, sturdy metallic stand, and the build quality as well is quite impressive. It connects via USB-C, which is great, but also the cable comes with an adapter for USB-A in case your computer does not have a USB-C port, which is a nice touch. I also really like the angle, the L-shaped connector. I think it does even better with cable management on the microphone itself, which was also a nice detail. The fact that you can monitor your audio via headphones is also a nice addition. And it has an app, which, to be honest, I haven't seen plenty of microphones, especially at this price point, that have a computer app. And that was something quite nice. And most importantly, I think it sounds really good for the price. Has a low noise floor. Well, I just love it. Let me know in the comments section what you thought about this microphone. And as always, if you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.